what happens. And there they were. As soon as I shined a flashlight, the nut and the cap were right together. And people might say that's just a silly coincidence. But to me, it's a blessing. It's one of those kind of things where you say, thank God. I mean, if you thank God throughout the day for those little things, He's seeing you through. He got you up in the morning. He filled your tummy with something to eat. He got you to the gas station to put gas in your car. He got you to work. I mean, every day He's helping us. He's giving us strength and the wherewithal to carry on. And we should all be very grateful for all the small miracles every day. If not, we're missing those blessings. I mean, consider all the bad things that didn't happen. Okay, if anything happened to my daughters, I've got a phone. I'm sure that I'd be called by the authorities to let me know if anything bad happened. I mean, I feel very lucky. Do I thank God throughout the day, or do I pout and do I look for ways to run from this perverted reality that I have to face day after day? Like I said, it weighs on me. It grinds on me. This cost of living tax, the debasement of the currency, which is tyrannical. That's what it is. This whole thing is tyrannical. My daughters are being tyrannized by this system. Okay? And it's wrong. It's not just wrong that my daughters be tyrannized by this system. Okay? It's wrong that anybody be tyrannized by this system. That's why I say I'm on everybody's side. I want everybody to do well. I want everybody to be free. Okay? It's as simple as that. There is one thing I wanted to talk about real quick. It's kind of humiliatingly ironic, I guess you would say. But on my way down to see my daughter in L.A., I was coming into L.A., and it turned into stop and go, bumper to bumper traffic. And just last week, I was talking about how, it's really basically you shouldn't crash your car because you're not paying attention and you don't have control over your machine, and it's really against the law to crash your car. And then my whole life, I've been driving since I was 15 and a half, and I'll be 60 in May. So just to give you an idea how long I've been driving without an accident, a moving accident with my vehicle. That's how long. And so anyhow, I'm coming into L.A., and it was touch and go, stop and go traffic, bumper to bumper. And just for a second, I wasn't paying enough attention. I was reaching around for something, and I smacked into this guy's bumper. Well, I didn't even touch his bumper. Really, he was driving this big Dodge truck, probably from the mid 2000, maybe 10-year-old Dodge truck. But thank God he didn't have his hitch on, but he had his hitch mount on. And when I hit that hitch mount, it put a little hole in my bumper. Of course, we had to stop. I mean, traffic was already stopped, so it wasn't a big deal. Still, it's traumatic. You're out there on the LA freeway. You got to put your hazard lights on, all that crap. And, I've been rear-ended twice in the last several years here in Chico area. Once in my van, and that put a hole in the guy's bumper, and I just said, hey, let it go. It didn't do anything to my hitch. And the other time, a passenger car hit my Impala, and hey, don't worry about it, man. No damage, nothing done. But these people, a little slow with forgiving me, seeing that I didn't even scratch the guy's mount. I took a picture. I had the presence of mind to take a picture of his hitch mount and a picture of my bumper. But it was very minor damage, and so I'm not too concerned about my car. In fact, I've already got it fixed. That's how simple it was. Well, I've got to do the painting part, but I've got a paint that matches it good, so I'll be very satisfied when I'm all done. It just, war wounds as far as I'm concerned. The car, it's an 18-year-old car with 17. I've had for 17 years, and but anyhow, they didn't let it go fast enough. As far as I'm concerned, I gave him my license. I didn't give him my insurance, and I contacted my insurance agent and said, look, I told him, unless this guy's a scammer, okay, because I just tapped his bumper. Not even his bumper, but the hitch mount. But anyhow, probably boring everybody with this story. But the irony is that I was just, getting cocky and telling people how stupid they are for crashing their car, and I crashed my car. So you see how it's humiliatingly ironic that just last week, when I got this long-standing record of never been in a moving crash in my car, never hit anybody in my life, okay, the whole time since I was 15 and a half years old. And believe me, I was an idiot when I was a teenager. I was racing my car around. I had a 65 Mercury Comet, 4 on the floor, 289 V8 engine, dual exhaust, 4-barrel Holley carburetor. I really thought I was somebody. And I used to race that car a lot. Back then in the 70s, man, kids were getting drunk, driving, and you know what? They'd pull you over and they'd say, hey, they slap you on the wrist, take the car home and park it. They'd catch you drunk. That was their policy back then. But they got tired of it. So they ended that program. But anyhow, I just wanted to humiliate myself. I mean, God has his way. I mean, that's it. We get humiliated in life. It's okay to admit you don't know everything, to be wrong sometimes. I always knew that anybody not paying attention for a second could rear end somebody. Like I said, I've been rear-ended more than twice, I know, in my life. And so I have never, gotten anybody's insurance information over it and tried to claim whiplash or any stupid thing like that. And I don't anticipate this. I gave these people my phone number. If they were interested in talking to me, they can leave a message, because if it's an unknown phone number, I'm not answering it. But anyhow, yeah, it was just plastic that hit their vehicle. But I have talked about that enough. Now I'm going to quickly get on to some of the current events. I did really want to talk about just how, look, you can be as well healed as the day is long, financially speaking, but you're still going to get your share of suffering through osmosis. The only way you can avoid that is to pray to God to take your conscience away. That's it. It's your conscience that does this osmotic thing, where God's making sure you get your fair suffering. You cannot ignore the welfare of your fellow human being and let them die out in the cold and go on your merry way and divorce yourself from from the downtrodden, from other people's plight. Okay, in this world, this satanically controlled world, you can't. So I implore everybody, please give a damn. That is loving your fellow man, and that includes the downtrodden. We've got to care about everybody. Okay, so anyhow, I'm going to move on to some of the current events from this past week. Alex Jones and Gerald Celente were discussing this wireless and that it's killing more people than tobacco. I guess they think through brain tumors. It's very interesting. 5G. Boy, there better be some investigation, and this is a big deal, so I'm just saying, folks, that we got to be aware of this stuff. I'm sure I'm getting my share of these waves, these radioactive radiation microwave type things, I guess. So, I'm probably cooking my brain, but I don't hold my cell phone close to my head, that's for sure. I do use hands-free whenever I have the opportunity. I'm always bitching about landlords and stuff, but I'm not picking on them, really. I'm picking on all the collusive special interest groups that benefit from raising your cost of living tax to their benefit. But it's not their benefit in the long run. We've been trained to be small-minded, narrow-minded, and short-sighted. We're not thinking way ahead. If landlords are doing so well, all well heeled, they think way ahead. Okay, it's easy to squander wealth. And $1 billion, you can go through it. Believe me, if you're foolish enough, it can be done. Okay, even with trust funds and everything else. So even if things keep going on as they are, you don't have an aristocracy that's going to last into the future, okay, indefinitely, in perpetuity. That's stupid. Okay, that's evil thinking. That your kids, I know they're going to be taken care of while you're in your grave. I mean, who are you to them anymore? They spend the money, they squander the wealth. Look at the prodigal son. He spent his inheritance in a very short period of time. It can be done. So, think ahead a little bit. Think of future generations when it comes to being well heeled. Okay, that's all I'm saying to everybody. That we've got to grab the bull by the horns, and if it thrashes us into walls, we've got to hang off into life, and if it kills us, it kills us. Nonviolence is still the only path. We got to have a velvet revolution, right? That's what we need here. But we got to stand up. We got to be demanding. We got to know our stuff, be empowered with it, and don't take no for an answer and say, no, you're wrong. I got to parent you. It's unfortunate. I don't want to have to do this, but I got to teach you what. And we're going to have sound economic policies and that are going to benefit everybody, and nobody gets left out of the loop. That's what sound economic policies produce. So that's all I'm saying. But, I work for a woman, and she's just the nicest person in the world. She's got a property, and I actually work at that rental property. And you know what? I mean, I actually knew both her parents before they passed on, and it's the salt of the earth, this family. So I know her son. I mean, he's one of these gentle giants. The guy's like 6'5", maybe 220, 30 pounds. I mean, he's built really good, and he's a paramedic. I mean, this family I have the highest regard for, and she's a landlord. She's got a property that she rents. I mean, so what? I mean, this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about these people with the avarice, the rich dads. They write books, they teach, they give seminars and all this crap. This is what you got to do. They're market manipulators. That's all they're doing. They're a special interest group and trying to tell you to jump on that bandwagon of evil. Okay, and they're saying you're just stupid. All these idiots are complaining because they didn't jump on the bandwagon soon enough. Well, it's not too late. You can still jump on. Become one of us, and go out and oppress and just, have avarice. Say, no, it's a good thing to have high rents, capitalism, free market, all this crap. And it's just, nothing can be further from the truth. That we haven't had that. There's no fairness in this game. Look at the 2008 bailout. That policy took a huge toll on the poor, the working class, the labor class, okay? People that were hoping to be homeowners. Their hopes and dreams have been dashed by this thing. California is way ahead of the curve. John Rappaport, man, you got to learn, man, what's going on. I mean, so many people, they think they know economics, and they don't know. They come and live in California. Come and pay rent in California and like it when your rent keeps going up higher and higher. Your nut keeps getting harder to crack. That bar keeps getting harder to reach. Your cost of living tax just keeps going up, and then it drives other things, and you're scrambling to try to find more numbers to pay the numbers that are required of you to exist, to survive. You think that's fun? You think that's a good thing? Because it's going to a private entity, it's just capitalism? What's the difference if you got to pay high taxes to a government agency or a private agency? If the effect is identical, I mean, let's not be stupid here. Let's call a spade, okay? And it stinks to high heaven. That's the reality. So yeah, you think I'm some liberal or some bleeding heart liberal. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. What's wrong with being compassionate? Read the book of Ruth. Compassion is a good thing. That's a godly characteristic. I'm merciful too. Okay, so what? But I still believe in self-defense. I still believe that cowardice is wrong, that the sheriff or the guard in Florida shooting that chickened out and didn't go right to the shooting where like he's trained to do, okay, that's wrong. I would have, okay, even though I'm a pacifist, but I'd shoot a guy dead that's shooting unarmed innocent children. Absolutely, teenagers, whatever, young adults. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do what I have to do. And I'm going to it's by instinct. Okay, that's what you're doing. It's by instinct. That's what you do. Okay, so I'm just saying I'm a nonviolent guy, and I just know that humanity is in a heap of trouble, and we all got to understand how deeply into it we are, how far we have fallen. Like I talked about, making $2,400 a year being plenty to live a middle class, respectable lifestyle back in the 60s. And now $5,000 won't do it. Will $10,000 do it? No, it won't. So where does this thing end? You understand? Zimbabwe in slow motion, currency debasement, tyranny through cost of living, tax inflation. I mean, this is evil, man. People got to get with it, man, and understand. So understand that this is wrong. This is wrong. Very wrong. And we've got to give a damn. Teachers around the country are angry about pay. That's the thing about that, is that, I do believe that if we had tied minimum wage in with the cost of living, and the Labor Department hadn't been utterly, profoundly remiss at giving cost of living adjustments to the minimum wage workers, which they have been, it's by deliberation. They're in the pocket of the Federal Reserve. It's as obvious as the day is long to me. Black hats are running the show, man. But it would have acted like a check and balance. It would have kept the currency debasement from happening. Because then you could point the finger at the market manipulators when the employers don't like paying ever higher wages, which they shouldn't like. We could have declining wages but your purchasing power could still go up. If you say, well, what do you mean? That doesn't sound good to me. If I'm making $10 and you're talking about me making 8 next year, yeah, but what if your $8 is worth 12? You see, that's what would happen if you had true supply and demand capitalism working for everybody. That's what would happen naturally, organically, automatically. Yes, you need checks and balances. You need safeguards. You need rules and regulations that everybody follows. That's it. You can't have them for some people and other people are exempt. That's a situation we have now. And that's immoral and unethical as the day is long. Cops on the beat, they're in a real predicament. Remember a while back in California, we had 4 cops shot and killed on four different venues that was happening. Well, this guy was on the run. This cop killer was on the run. He murdered 4 of them. And if you think these cops don't have a right to be jumpy, I mean, look,